Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex from Alex's Innovations. Right now I'm filming this at about 11 o'clock at night because quarantine sleep schedules, but also I'm just letting you know I cannot take advantage of the natural daylight in my room, so this is why I am in front of my window. Ironic, right? Because there's no light, but my lamp is shining on me so I can be glowing. But anyway, today I'm going to be going over the moderation process on Bracelebook, just sort of from a moderator's point of view, and what you can do to improve your patterns. So for those of you who don't know, bracelebook.com is a website that you can use to upload patterns of your bracelets. You can search for other users' patterns. It's a great resource because you can connect with people. You can see videos for specific tutorials. So for example, my last video, I taught you guys how to make a butterfly friendship bracelet. So if you were just perusing Bracelebook and you happen to stumble across the butterfly pattern, then you could scroll down to the bottom and there are a list of videos that people have made for the pattern. Now, not a lot of people make bracelet tutorials, so I think mine is the only one up there so far. It's really cool like that because Bracelebook is sort of a place where everyone can get together who loves bracelet making and we can all make our own patterns and share them with each other. And so it's really cool. So in order to ensure that everything on Bracelebook stays safe and appropriate for all audiences, Bracelebook has a committee of moderators. I think there are around 10 of us, and we live all around the world, and what we do is we go and we see patterns that people submit, we see photos that people submit of their bracelets, we can review videos, we can see forum comments, and we can see comments on patterns. And basically our job is to make Bracelebook a safe place, but also to filter out the patterns that are sort of spam or not super valuable to the community, and also as a way to just keep everything okay and keep everyone having a good time. So today I'm going to be moderating. I have my laptop right here. Cue the screen recording of the laptop right here. So I'm just going to be going through some of the moderation processes, what I'm going to be thinking, sort of my mindset as I decline or accept patterns, and then maybe I'll take you through photos as well, and sort of some things that you can do to improve your patterns. So if you struggle to get your patterns accepted on Bracelebook, then I suggest you watch this video because this video may help. Also, these are all real patterns submitted by people. I'm not going to blur the names out because they don't really show any personal information, and you definitely could find these patterns, especially the ones I accept, although I won't know the pattern numbers until later, so sorry. But it's really interesting, some of the patterns are really cool, and let me know down below if you think I made the right decision. Of course, the moderating process is a little bit subjective because we are people. If the system were completely left up to artificial intelligence, then there would be probably more mistakes than there were if there were humans. But if a moderator does decline a pattern, then another moderator will see it if the person tries to submit again. So there is some aspect of subjectivity to it, but we really try really hard. The administrator briefs us on an every other day basis, just sort of updating us on sort of what we should be doing and what our expectations are, and just basically how to make Bracelebook a better place. Alright, so I'm on the homepage of bracelebook.com, and when you're a moderator, this is my profile right up here. My username is Innovate if you want to check me out. I do have 256 current friend requests though, so sorry if I can't get through all of them, but I'm really trying really hard. Every week after I moderate, I just sort of sit through and just click through, but it's a little tedious. But over here, there's this little icon here. It looks like a briefcase a little bit, or maybe a suitcase, and it has the number 763 on it. And you can see my hovering says admin on it, which is the special admin button. It's a special button that only appears when you're a moderator. So I'm going to click on this, and what this does is it sort of takes me to the landing page. So it has all of the rules, which I think the administrator wants to put on a page that everyone can access it, because when I read through these after becoming moderator, I thought that this was actually really valuable, and I think that the community could really benefit from it. So I'll just explain this sort of bar at the top. Each of these categories has different things in them that all sort of pertain to the bracelet community and that everyone can contribute to. So patterns, this 557 means there are 557 new patterns and variations sort of waiting to be approved. Because variations are working with patterns, they're sort of grouped into the patterns category, so there's no way to approve just patterns. You sort of have to go through patterns and variations. Videos is what I was talking about earlier. You can upload a YouTube video, which is what I do, and then you upload a little thumbnail like butterfly bracelet. And comments are just comments that people have posted, but we also cycle through them, so they could be removed, but it's just easier if people's comments aren't moderated. like right away, because then it would just make everything like super annoying, I guess. And then form is similar to comments, except for it's not really a comment on a pattern, it's just sort of a general comment. Like it could be like, what's your favorite pattern to make? And you wouldn't comment that on a specific pattern. So this is the part you've all been waiting for. This is patterns. So right now we have pattern 26103. So the original pattern you can see is on top, and it's this lovely rainbow arrowhead. And then all the variations that are here have already been listed. So before I even start looking at the pattern, I want to look at the top where it says warnings. If it only says this pattern already exists as this pattern, but it can be added as its variation, then you've sort of passed the first test. No colors are very similar to each other. Your colors aren't too dark to appear on the grid. These are typical warnings that arise when choosing color combinations, both for normal patterns and for variations, but for variations especially. So right now I see that there's nothing wrong up here, so I can sort of scroll and actually look at the variation. So this variation, upon first thought, it looks really pretty. It has a lot of greens, which could be an issue. There was no warning, and looking at it with a human set of eyes, I really like how it turns out, and I really like the one purple accent. So I think I'm going to accept this pattern and move on to the next one. Alright, so for our second pattern, this pattern exists as 31608 but can be added as its variation. And just like the previous one, it has the original pattern on top, and then it has all of the other variations. Scrolling down, just notice it had no warnings. That's not something I need to look out for. And so I see that it has two blue sort of waves, and it has a dark blue wave in the middle. I'm thinking to myself, a wave is sort of like a blue pattern, so right now, just seeing this very blue pattern, I'm just gonna check and make sure if there are any other variations that sort of look like that with three blues. And I think we're okay. I mean, there's this one, it has blue, white, and then a light blue, but that's not as similar as this one, so I'm going to accept it. Alright, this variation is similar, but it's an alpha, and it's a variation of 869, and the person just changed the white background to a colorful background, and this isn't too crazy. There are no warnings, so I'm just going to accept it. Okay, so this variation has come up. This pattern is 13382, and so it already has sort of the main pattern, and then it has two added variations. So before I even look at the pattern, although it does already appear on the screen for me, I can see at the top under warnings it says try to avoid using similar colors in your pattern if possible, please. And then in parentheses C equals E. So scrolling down, I can see that C is sort of this light beige-ish color and E is sort of a light orange color. Sometimes the website is accurate, sometimes it's not, but in this case I think it is a little bit accurate. These two colors are a little bit hard to see. So I'm going to add, there's a sort of a list of drop-down, sort of like a most commonly used phrases for declining patterns. And so I want to say that they should change the colors. And so actually it's really convenient. Some of the warnings that appear on the variation when I click on it are actually at the bottom. So the one that I have highlighted is try to avoid using similar colors in your patterns if possible, please. So I'm going to click that. So now when the user receives a notification that user Innovate, that's me, declined your pattern, they can click on it to see the decline message, and the decline message is asking them to have a little bit more of a contrast between colors C and E. So I'm going to decline it, but I think that this pattern really has potential. Okay, so this one is not a variation, but it's an actual pattern, so here's the actual sort of moderating part. So I'm looking at the pattern, and right now I sort of have to turn my head in order to see it, which is one sign that I should decline it, but I want to give the user as much constructive feedback as I can, so I'm going to keep going. So I'm turning, and I see that it says do it. The D and the O seem to be capitalized, and as well as the T, but the I seems to be lowercase, and this doesn't seem like something that's intentional. It might be a mistake. It might be that the user just didn't really want to change it. I don't really know their motives. Also, I can't really tell what this is. The eye sort of looks like an avocado, and if you're watching this, I don't mean to roast you. I'm just trying to give constructive advice for those of you who are thinking, just sort of what's going through my head as I'm moderating. So I can't really tell what this is. I think it's sort of like a devil, but his ears are too small, because he does have the triangle tail, which indicates devil to me. And it also looks like a couple of pixels are misplaced around his mouth. Oh, well, I really don't know what it is. Scrolling up, I'm looking at the keywords, which can tell me what it's supposed to be. It says Lucy, animation, devil, evil, do it, Naiba. Oh, that's the user's name. Sorry. So right now I'm going to try and type in a message that's going to help this user. I'm going to ask, did you mean to put the I in lowercase? Please change it to capital. I think it would look a little bit nicer. And then also, remember I said I sort of had to turn my head in order to see it? I think it would look better if the user rotated the pattern, which there is no good feature to do on Bracelet Book and can be really frustrating, but there's a fun hack that I learned after spending 5 hours on a pattern and then having it get denied because I needed to rotate it. A fun hack you can do is you can take a screenshot of it and then upload that as an image. So on Mac, I don't know how to do it on other devices, but I have a Mac, and so on the Mac you hit Command-Shift-4, and then you can click and drag and drop the crosshairs so it creates exactly the size box that you want. And then in preview, you can open it up on your desktop, and then in preview, you hit rotate so it rotates to the correct size. And then when you go to create a pattern, create a new pattern, and then hit alpha from picture, I think. And then you upload it and you select how many colors you want and how wide and how long you want it to be. And then you can upload it like that. And it's much faster than re-putting in every single pixel. Anyway, I'm going to ask, could you please rotate it? Then I'm going to say, it's a little hard to tell what this pattern is without looking at the keywords, just so if they can make the pattern in any way a little clear. I've never heard of the Lucy Devil animation, if that's a thing. So I'm just going to say, I can't really tell what the pattern is without looking at the keywords. Is there any way you can clarify it within the pattern? Overall, words of encouragement, because encouragement is really important. I'm gonna say overall, it looks like a really cute pattern. Can't wait to see the final product. And then a fun blush emoji. Alright, so I'm going to decline it, and again, like the other variation that I declined, the user will see Innovate declined your pattern. They can click on it and they can see all of my feedback and hopefully make the changes and submit it again. Okay, so the next pattern is also an original pattern, not a variation, and this pattern is of Adidas. So Adidas, I'm thinking Adidas is a brand name, and I'm thinking people might have made brand names before. So luckily the user put Adidas as one of their keywords, which is good. You should always put the brands in your keywords so people can find it and they can use it, and you'll be a good Bracelet Book user. So I'm going to click on Adidas, and this way I can search through all of the patterns that people have ever made that tagged Adidas, and I can see if there are any similar patterns. So this person made a black background with a white logo. So I'm going to look for a black background with a white logo. Or maybe the inverse, so they can make a variation. It looks like 31816 is pretty similar. These two are also pretty similar, but they're a lot bigger than 31816. So I'm going to go back to the previous page and I'm going to say this pattern is pretty similar to 31816. Perhaps try to add this as a variation on that pattern. Then I'm going to decline this one so they can see it as well. Next one is another alpha that says Arizona. I already see that there's a decline message here, which was from another moderator who must have said, try to avoid using similar colors in your pattern if possible, please. And I don't see that current warning up here, which means the user fixed it. So I'm going to delete this before deciding what I'm going to do. So I'm looking at the letters, and some things that we really try to emphasize are having neat patterns. We don't really want any pixels out of place, and we want it to be valuable to the community. So I'm looking here and I'm just seeing that at the top of the V there's sort of like a taper, like the pixels are going diagonal, but then at the bottom there's this one pixel here that maybe shouldn't be there. I don't know if I'm being too picky, but there's sort of this hole here and there isn't here. And on the end I noticed that it looks more like the bottom of the V. So I'm just going to say perhaps try to fix your Z. Please try to fix the Z. It looks uneven. Also, I noticed that the A and the R are larger than the rest of the letters, but the A is larger than the R. So it doesn't seem to me like that's intentional because this doesn't look like a logo that I recognize. And they also put in the keywords postcard, vacation, holiday, so those aren't really brand words. So I'm going to ask if they could make the R the same as all the other lowercase letters so it looks more like a capital word instead of a word just sort of getting smaller. But overall, I think it's a really cute pattern. It's a really nice idea, so I'm just going to say overall it's a super cute pattern. Alright, so I've gone through a couple patterns. I haven't been able to find a normal one to look at because a lot of these patterns are variations and alphas. So right now I'm going to be switching over to the Photos tab, which is not nearly as complex as the Patterns tab, but it will still give you a good idea of what's a good photo and what's not and what we accept. Switching over to the Photos tab, we have this cute heart pattern. It's sort of a heart chevron with white dots. And the bracelet that the user has submitted is super cute, but the image is a little bit blurry, and we do like to have images that focus on the bracelet instead of sort of its background. So luckily, conveniently, in the drop down, I think there's a phrase for being yes, the photo is too blurry, could you please try to play around with the focus of the camera? So what that does is that just says, hey, your bracelet's good, you submitted it to the right pattern, everything's okay, just please try to retake the photo so everything looks better. When the user sees that message, then hopefully they'll retake the photo. The second one is for your simple chevron, and this person actually used the exact same colors, although that is not necessary, you just have to have the right knotting pattern. But this looks super cute. The bracelet is in an orientation that doesn't make me have to turn my head or anything. It's in focus, the majority of the photo is on the bracelet, and it looks super good, so I'm going to accept it. So this one's sort of a feather chevron sort of thingy, I don't know the specific name. And so scrolling down, it looks like the user has submitted to the correct pattern, but I'm noticing that their hand takes up a lot of the photo, and what isn't their hand is a lot of like a very busy background, like it's not plain. This one is a little bit more subjective than the other ones because it's not always black or white when moderating. I'm just going to ask this person if they can retake the photo with the bracelet taking up the majority of the photo instead of other distractions like the hand or the background. Alright, and then for this pattern seems really tiny. It's added by Meatmaster, which I love your name, by the way, if you're watching this. So Meatmaster has added this pattern. I'm noticing right away that there's sort of a main squiggly line going down the bracelet. Like the photo was taken backwards, sort of. So the back of the bracelet, like the wrong side was up instead of the right side, per se. That is a matter of subjectivity, although I have heard of other moderators declining because they sort of want the pattern to be more visible, and I do agree, you can't really see the pattern, it sort of looks more like a squiggly wave, so I'm just going to say, could you please try to take the photo of the bracelet with the other side? Oh, thank you. Okay, this pattern is adorable. It is 3 cats, 1 black, 1 gray, and 1 orange. And I love orange cats because I have an orange cat. I've made like 2 videos with him and I want to make so many more before I go to college because I love him and I'm gonna miss him so much. But anyway, yes, cats. So looking at this pattern, this seems like a really cute pattern. The person did a great job. They have a nice clear background that doesn't really detract from the bracelet. The bracelet is in clear focus. It does take up the majority of the photo, which is great. And they submitted it to the right pattern, which is good. We have 3 cats. Again, the color doesn't matter. You can have them in any which color. They could be a variation. It doesn't say which variation they submitted to, so they could have rearranged the colors of the cats, but they have the right pattern, which is what we want. The cats look really good, and again, we're not judging the quality of the bracelet when we moderate, we just want to see the correct pattern, but this person did add a loop and 2 braids, which does add to the aesthetic, so I'm going to accept this one. Great job. Alright, this pattern I've seen all over Instagram. I want to say it was created by bsj.bracelets on Instagram. If you're watching this, did you create this pattern? I'm not sure. Wait, I can click on the pattern and I can see. Yes, BSJ. Yeah, I've talked to her. She's super sweet. Anyway, so this pattern is by bsj.bracelets on Instagram. This bracelet is really cool. It looks like they made the pattern really nicely. The colors are super cute. But there are other bracelets in the photo and that sort of detract. And again, I'm being a little strict. I'd prefer rather to be on the more conservative side. Sometimes moderators, especially the newer ones, and I'm more on the new side. I only became a moderator like 2 months ago, so I'm not as experienced with this as the other ones, so of course take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I try to be as pro-community as possible. Like, I wanna add stuff that's beneficial for the whole community, and this photo could potentially distract people, especially because we have the sort of the braided bracelet, like the knotted braided, and this one over here is the end of an arrowhead, it looks like, so I'm just going to ask if they can take a picture of the bracelet by itself without any other bracelets. Okay. Oh, I love Spirited Away. Oh my god, this is amazing. And they made his cheeks pink. What's his name? No Face? Is his name No Face? I watched the movie like 6 years ago, I think. It was one of my favorite movies, but No Face, the guy, really scared me, so I tried to distance myself from him. I really liked, what's her name? Chihiro? Chihiro was the girl. Anyway, Studio Ghibli rocks. Totoro is amazing. So this pattern looks really nice. They made the No Face on a little dowel, which is super cute. So it's probably more of a wall hanging or a tapestry or maybe a bookmark. The background is complementary, but not, I don't think it's as distracting because the bracelet is like a very contrasting. There's black, there's white. There's no black, there's only a little bit of white in the background. So I think the bracelet does stand out pretty well. So I'm going to accept it. I mean, I see nothing wrong. It's a beautiful bracelet, beautifully knotted. Oh my god. Wish I could make alphas like that. Alright, accepting that. Okay, the next pattern is for this little bumblebee, and it's such a cute little pattern, and this person made this. And again, there is a background that's not super duper plain, but the part that is in front that's illuminated is blurred, so it doesn't draw the eye to it. So the bee pattern looks super cute. I mean, nothing else is in the photo. It looks really good, so I'm gonna accept it. Alright, so I think that's it for photos. I think I've gone through enough that you've sort of gotten an idea of what we're looking for. So now I'm gonna switch over to comments and forums. Videos aren't that super interesting. I don't really like moderating videos because you can go through other ones a lot quicker, and also there's so many more photos and patterns than there are videos. Like, you can see patterns, I have over 500, photos I have almost 200, and the videos I have 5. So like, well, let someone else do that for the purpose of watching this video instead of this one. But anyway, let's go over to comments. And comments is much easier than the other two. It's just sort of looking at, are people being respectful? Are people being nice? So this one is, the pics are beautiful. That's nice. So simple and pretty. That's nice. Wow, this is beautiful. That's nice. I absolutely loved this show back when there were good shows on TV. That's nice. For this comment, I see that isn't nice. Think about how you would feel if I did that to you. I'm sort of thinking that could be a potential for drama or hard feelings, and we don't want anyone to feel sad here. I'm making this sound like an idealistic society. Like, we just really like making friendship bracelets, guys. So I'm going to click on the pattern number and then scroll down so I can see the conversation for more context. Oh, this is a mini starburst. Oh, that's so cool. I've never seen one this tiny before. It's 16 strings. Oh, by the way, I made a tutorial for a mini starburst, but not this many. But it was 22 strings. You can check it out in the description. And I also made one for a regular starburst, 34 strings, if you master the mini starburst. But I made them both, and I'm super proud of both of the tutorials, so check them out. So back to the video. I'm going to scroll down to the comments. I see the comment that I was moderating. That isn't nice. And so I see that's in response to Emma Moth 17. So I'm going to scroll and looking on this side, looking for, oh, okay, so we have Emma Moth 17 has a middle finger emoji, which might not be appropriate for this video either. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, what was that for? It was a month ago she's banned. So looking at these comments, I was originally going to decline this comment. First of all, I hear that the account is banned. Of course, I'm not going to do a full-on security check. But I can see that she's banned, and this person is doing a good thing. They're standing up for the creator of the pattern, and they're defending them against this person. So I'm going to accept this. Very similar to comments are forum comments. And forum comments are pretty much just the same as comments, but they're sorted by topic instead of by pattern. So, for example, this topic is, my alpha looks weird. And so this person has said there are multiple things you can do. So they're helping, they're giving advice to other bracelet makers, and that's sort of a really cool thing, because it's like everyone who needs help or everyone that can offer help are sort of in one group together. So I'm not going to read this whole thing because there are a lot of forum comments to go through, but I can see that this person seems to be helping. There are multiple things you can do. They're giving them multiple advices, try to tie all your knots to the same force, and I can also see posts that they've made as well, and all of their posts seem to be good. It doesn't seem like they're doing a spam that's offensive, so I'm going to approve their posts. This person also seems like they're having fun. They're not doing anything mean or bad, so I'm just accepting their forum posts. Alright, so that is sort of a moderation process on Bracelet Book. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I spent about 45 minutes filming this, and who knows how long I'm going to spend editing. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Moderating for me is super fun. I usually moderate at about 4 in the morning with Streaky on my lap. He's sort of purring because he sleeps with me He sort of puts his head by my head and then sort of purrs until we both fall asleep, which is super cute. But at around 3:30, it's sort of like his bedtime. Like, he's sort of sick of me staying up at this point. He's like, yo, it's bedtime. So he comes into my room and I'm at my desk moderating. He just sort of plops himself right here and just a little munchkin. And he's so cute. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, because we love positivity and we love happiness here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if I moderated your photo or your pattern or your comment or your forum comment. I want to know if you guys are watching my videos and if you enjoyed them. But if you liked this video and you want to see more like it, comment down below some topics that you want to see. Anyway, bye! If you like this video and want to see more, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep the bracelets coming. Make sure you hit the bell that says all so you're notified for each one of my new videos. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. By contributing just a little bit each month, you can gain exclusive benefits like early access to my videos and bracelets shipped regularly to your front door. My Patreon is Alex's Innovations. The link is in the card and also in the description down below. Just a shout out to all of my Patreons, but especially my top tier supporters, Nancy and Simon. Thank you so much for all your support. If you're not already, follow me on Instagram at Alex Innovations. I do polls and surveys there that I later feature in my videos, so by checking out my profile, you can help me make better videos. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.